Today, I wanted to share something that's been on my mind recently. Growing up, I measured my life with milestones and timelines. And life can feel overwhelming when we fail to tick these boxes at the right time. So recently, I gave it a thought that we have to revisit our definition of a life that is successful often, so as our life changes, the way we measure it has to change too. Just when you think you have cracked the code, rules change. As a kid, I used to believe that there's one single path, and if I followed it, everything will be as it should be. But now I know that it's not that simple. It depends on how you measured your life events. As a kid, if you were good at sports, you measured it by the medals you won. If you were good at academics, by the kind of grades you get. And as adults, by the money we earn, cars we own, or maybe a lifestyle we always wished for. We all, knowingly or unknowingly, have measured our lives with those markers or timelines. But suddenly, if we find ourselves short of those timelines or markers, we tend to think we are falling behind in life. But if we keep measuring our life with a definition we picked up at 16 or 18, it's going to feel like we are falling behind in life, even when we are not. So, realizing this allowed me to view things differently and rethink what progress and success meant to my life now in relevance to my current life. Oftentimes, we feel behind because we don't see ourselves where we should be in that point of time. In a world where everyone is following one clear cut path, it's not wrong to wonder that you are the one who is doing something wrong. We all are different. We can't have same thoughts. We can't have same things in life. And we can't hit the same milestones at the same time. You're allowed to choose your own path, not just once, but over and over again. After 25, it's always overwhelming. Everyone is in different phase of their life. One is going for marriage, one is for another degree, one's looking for a vacation in Bali, and one is in therapy. One's quietly grieving what hasn't happened yet, and one's finally alone, happy. One is setting up his own business or his own clinic. Different chapters, but everyone is carrying something different. No one's ahead and no one's behind. They're just on a different page of the same book, different chapters. So we are not stuck. We are on a verge of getting a new idea what success looks like. Who wrote those timelines? Who wrote those deadlines? Society? Instagram? Relatives? Or that anxious voice inside your head that thinks that life is a checklist? I read somewhere, for what it's worth, it's never too late to be whoever you want to be. Never too late. Not at 28, not at 40, not at 50. But we panic because we see everyone's highlights and compare them to our behind the scenes. We don't see their doubts, their therapy sessions, their failed relationships, and their career regrets. We just see milestones and we assume delay means failure, But sometimes delay is direction. Our 20s matter, not because we have to have it all figured out, because this is the decade where small choices compound. Not dramatic success, just small intentional moves. A skill you built quietly, a boundary you finally set, a choice of leaving a bad habit. And maybe that's real growth. Invisible, slow, and uncelebrated. Always love the questions, but don't rush the answers. What if feeling lost means you are not blindly following someone else's map? You're not behind, you're on a different timeline. And different doesn't mean wrong. Maybe our 20s are not about arriving, maybe they are about unlearning. Unlearning comparison, unlearning pressure, unlearning the idea that worth equals productivity. I read somewhere that meaning is not something we are given, it's something we choose in response to life. Not when life is perfect, but especially when it isn't. So maybe this phase where you are feeling behind is your training ground. You're learning resilience, you're learning self trust, you're learning who you are without claps and praises. Some people peak early, some bloom late. Some people change path entirely, and none of it is wrong. The real question is not am I ahead or behind? The real question is am I becoming more honest with myself? Because success without alignment feels empty, but slow growth with self awareness feels powerful. So, if you're sitting in your room tonight, scrolling, comparing, doubting, pause, breathe, remind yourself that you're not late. And one day, you'll look back at this phase of your life, this confused, messy, uncertain version of yourself, and whisper, thank God I didn't rush that chapter. Because this wasn't falling behind, that was becoming. Until then, live gently.